Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Classic Live Album War. We got Chris Alo in the guest star seat again.
Hey, everybody. Thanks my
man.
Pete.
Thanks for coming again. Chris has been here all morning, and we got all sorts of great stuff here. Hopefully you've been catching the Classic Live Album War battles that we've been doing here this weekend. And we've got the final one that Chris is going to appear on for this first round anyway. I'm going to try and get him back for round two for a couple. But these two have been asked for many times. So Chris and I actually, about a month ago, kind of figured out what the last few that we were going to work on together. So I've been holding them off till we can get a date where he can come in here. And I've got all these people like, Pete, I know you're finishing up round one. Where's Rush?
Right.
It's like, guys, be patient. And Jeff Young and I have a whole bunch of other ones too that you guys have been screaming for. So don't worry. Patience, good things come to those who wait, I always say. My mother always told me that. So we've got today, the battle is between Rush, Exit Stage Left, from 1982, did I say?
81.
81. And then from Blue Oyster Cult Extraterrestrial Live from 82. Okay. Both albums that I absolutely grew up on.
Yep, same here.
I adore both of them. Big time. Two great bands, two favorite bands. Let's start with this one first. So, again, recorded at a couple different venues. So, we've got the Apollo in Glasgow. I'm not going to say Glasgow, Scotland, all right, which I believe is side 2, and from 1980, and then 1981, we've got a performance from the Forum in Montreal, Canada, so that makes up the bulk of this album. Also recorded on the Moving Pictures tour.
Right.
But ironically, like they basically did a couple legs of that tour, and the back end of the tour kind of became the Exit Stage Left tour. Which is kind of weird because it was still Moving Pictures, was still fresh.
That was, still selling like hotcakes. I mean, it's a really interesting matchup because both bands had such huge years in 1981, and then followed them up with these two respective live albums, which are both awesome live records.
Yeah, and especially with the Rush. So we did a show a few weeks back, I should say, on All the World's a Stage. Pretty much all of Rush's live albums kind of signaled the end of an era. And with them, it was more like a style of music they were playing. So after, this album, Rush obviously moved into much more of an 80s sound, with Signals and Grace Under Pressure and all those other albums. And Blue Oyster Cult kind of as well, but Blue Oyster Cult became less of a, they weren't as... like the kind of the dark metal and psych and stuff of the 70s. Again, more of an 80s sound, a lot more pop melodies and things like that. But both stellar live albums. So as far as this one goes, a killer set list. And I think if you're someone who really likes that late 70s, early 80s Rush catalog,
which is my personal favorite era of Rush.
So, all the
my favorite
Hemispheres and Farewell to Kings and, Moving Pictures and all that kind of stuff.
And that's my favorite Rush record is Moving Pictures.
Yeah, I mean, that is, I was a Rush fan before Moving Pictures, but when that album came out, I became a Rush fanatic. So, kicking off this album, you got Spirit of Radio, okay?
Right, great opener.
One of the best Rush openers, right? It's almost like it's got to be. Red Barchetta, which... great live song.
Absolutely.
Okay. YYZ.
With the drum solo.
Yeah, of course. Got to have Neil doing his thing. Then over on side 2 of the LP, you got A Passage to Bangkok. Okay. On the LP. And I believe that is, it's on the CD.
I was going to say that's on the remaster because I have the original and it's not on there.
It's not on there. Yeah, exactly. So the remaster, they put it back in. Closer to the Heart. I got to have that. Not one of my favorite Rush tunes, but
same here, but it was a big hit for them.
Beneath, Between, and Behind, I think is a great inclusion.
Great tune.
Here. Okay.
Jacob's Ladder, another great one.
Awesome. Bruins Bane, okay, little Alex Lifeson, little instrumental there. The Trees is awesome on here, and then of course a magical Xanadu.
I was just going to say, much prefer the live version. As great as the studio version is, the live version is where it's at.
Yeah. And then Free Will, which is done very well here with a killer Alex Lifeson solo. Tom Sawyer, just because you got to have Tom Sawyer.
Right.
That has become one of those Rush tunes I never need to hear again, as much as I
still like it, but no, I hear you. It's, like Stairway to Heaven, it's, kind of a bit overkill.
It's a bit overkill. And then, for my money, the best track on here, you may disagree, the best track on here, and we often get asked which live version of the song do you like much better than the studio version. La Villa Strangiato on here, for me, is amazing and so much better than the studio version. And I think for here, it's just a great way to end this live album, I think, on a real high note. And again, one of those, like, kind of, it's almost 10 minutes long. One of those kind of lengthy instrumentals that I don't think is boring at all. Chris may disagree. He smiled. He's not going to say too much.
It's not my favorite Rush track.
I love it on here. But I think that this has some just basically almost definitive versions of some of these songs, I think. Right?
Absolutely. And it's sonically an amazing sounding live record.
Yeah, it really is.
Definitely captures the sound of Rush. Just those three guys, incredibly. It's tough finding any criticism of it. My one criticism, which even as a kid, and we didn't really talk about this in the other live battles, but as a concert fan, I always prefer when a live record plays the entire concert.
Yeah.
And my two criticisms of this record was, it seems like a piecemeal record because of the fade outs after so many of the tracks.
Yeah, true.
And it's missing so much of the material. And I realize, of course, I'm assuming Rush didn't want to duplicate anything that was from All the Worlds of Stage, but it's missing half the show. Yeah. If this is a document from their 1981 tour...
Because I saw them on that tour, and I can tell you they played Working Man.
Right. I actually looked it up recently, and at that time, Rush was doing like 21, 22 tracks. And this live record is like 12, 13 tracks. So it's literally missing half the show.
Right.
So, and I much prefer, like nowadays, when Maiden or Deep Purple put out their millionth live record, it's the whole show.
It's the whole show, yeah. It was a little bit different back in the day.
Definitely different back then.
But, so missing Working Man, missing the 2112 suite, right?
Absolutely.
And, whatever else. We could probably go and look it up.
Right.
But still, a great album. And I think,
an amazing live record, amazing sound.
Geddy Lee's bass is just, like, incredible on that album. Incredible. So really, really good stuff. So I'm a big fan. I dig it. A lot of people ask, well, do you like All the Worlds of Stage or Exit Stage Left?
Yeah, this is my favorite Rush live record.
They're both great, though, and they're different, right? Because it's different eras of the band. So that brings us to this one, all right? Extraterrestrial Live, a great live album. I think it comes on the heels of a great studio album.
Absolutely. Fire of Unknown Origin, which I guess... could certainly in '81 was a massive seller for them. Yeah, I don't know if the BOC had a bigger year in '81 or '76, but that's got to be their two biggest years.
Two biggest years. A really good studio album, and it's well represented on here as well. This one recorded from performances all over the place.
Right.
One of them,
but the way it's cut,
you don't know.
It plays like a full concert.
It does. It really does. But it very well put together, I think. But again, it's got performances from the Nassau Coliseum, the Tower Theater in Philly, the Hollywood Sportatorium, all sorts of other places. And the Mid-Hudson Civic Center in Poughkeepsie, New York, at a show that I was
our neck of the woods.
Our neck of the woods.
Which is amazing that you were there, Pete. And when you listen to it, the way it's recorded, it sounds like it's an arena.
Yeah.
But of course, it's only like I think it holds 2,500
And he mentions Eric Bloom mentions Poughkeepsie, which is really cool. But
which is very cool.
It definitely sounds like there was like 10,000 people there. When maybe there was probably like maybe two.
I was going to say probably 2,000, 2,500.
Yeah, because I was there that night. It was pretty. It was a good crowd there. It was a long time ago. But a great set list. We got old and new favorites. So we got Dominance and Submission. Cities on Flame with Rock and Roll right there. Two great old tracks. Right. You got a newer song, Dr. Music, which I dig, and that was a big concert favorite at the time. The Red and the Black, another great song. Joan Crawford.
Great tune from Fire of Unknown Origin.
Love that tune. And then Burning for You, which was their
massive hit, crossover hit at that time.
Yep. Roadhouse Blues.
Which is an interesting Doors cover, which they
do very well.
Yes, absolutely.
They play live a lot. I would have rather heard another BOC original, but I get that a lot of bands were playing.
Which is so interesting because at the time, and I don't know if BOC still does it, but at the time they were always doing Roadhouse Blues and Born to Be Wild, which of course is on your feet and on your knees. Yeah. I always thought, geez, it's so strange. A band with this much material, they're doing 2 covers?
I know. But you know how many times in doing this live album series, you know how many times these classic bands were doing that back
Yeah,
then?
no, that's true.
It's
You're
crazy.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, you'd have like a band, they would, you'd have a live album, single live album, maybe 8 tracks on it, and 4 of them are covers. I'm like, you got so much great material, but they didn't think twice about doing that.
Yeah, no, it's true.
So,
I mean, I always think like in the 80s when Kiss would do like a Who cover. Like, wait, you guys have all this material?
Right.
What are you,
what are you doing?
Yeah.
Or the bands that were doing the 50s songs, like the Scorpions.
Yes.
Like,
Long Tall Sally,
like, come on, guys. It's like, Jesus. Anyway, we digress. Black Blade.
I love that track.
That's one of my favorite tunes.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I love Cultosaurus Erectus.
Yeah, me too. Agreed. Right. I remember the first time I saw BOC was in '87. I was so disappointed because they didn't do Black Blade. And I had listened to this record so many times. I thought that they were, they were going to do, but yeah,
they played when I saw them the last time.
That's awesome. That's
you got to go. They're coming to Peekskill.
Okay, all right. I'll have to check them out again. I haven't seen them in probably 3-4 years.
Yeah, they're still a lot of fun. Hot Rails to Hell, another great tune.
Great tune.
Got to have Godzilla, because Godzilla was all the rage.
Another massive hit for them.
Veteran of Psychic Wars.
I love that tune.
Oh, that's...
Which, of course, was featured in the heavy metal movie.
Yes. And tacked on at the end of the Fire of Unknown Origin album. Great. ETI, of course, Extraterrestrial Intelligence. And then you can't have a live album by Blue Oyster Cult without Don't Fear the Reaper, which they saved for last. So.
And this, I did look it up. This, from the tour, from the 81 tour, the only track that was omitted from this album that they actually did play, I mean the entire tour, but the one that they would steadily play every night was Born to Be Wild. So it really is, to me, it's really unlike The Rush, as great as Exit Stage Left is, this really represents the that 1981 tour, what you saw and heard on that show.
Yeah.
They're both great records.
They're both great, and you bring up a good point though. And I think that Rush were arguably playing bigger arenas, right? Than Blue Oyster Cult at the time. Not by much, but whereas Rush were pretty much moving into their stadium, basketball stadium, basketball arena, Madison Square Garden, all that type of things. I mean, Blue Oyster Cult at that time were not quite that big. They were playing the 2, 3, 4, and 5,000 seat halls. So maybe not playing the 2-hour sets like Rush was doing.
Yes.
Right? But yeah, you're absolutely right. This gives you a really good representation of what you were hearing on that tour from, Blue Oyster Cult. So we've come to the time of the show where we got
It's a tough one.
So I'm gonna let you go first. Good luck.
I'm a much bigger Rush fan than I am a BOC fan. I've only seen BOC 4 or 5 times. I've seen Rush more than 30 times. They both sound great.
You do, yeah.
But it really annoys me, the fading out after every track, and it really annoys me that it's only half the show from the 1981 tour. And to me, that's really... They both sound great. They're both great track listings. But I think that's why I'm surprising myself, because like I said, I'm a much bigger Rush fan. But I think I'm going to give the nod to BOC. I just appreciate the fact that it plays like I was there. And that's what I want when I'm listening to a live record. I want to feel like I'm at the concert.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And if every song fades out and it's missing half the material, and I'm like, But I understand why they didn't want to duplicate things.
Yeah.
So...
there were reasons for everything, yeah. You can't go wrong here, right?
they're both great.
I love them both, right? I'm going to go the opposite route. I'm going to take this one. And I agree with all your points. I really do. And you make a good argument for why to pick this one. I
think I listen to Exit Stage Left more.
Oh, yeah, I have too.
But
and,
I don't know.
I saw him live on this tour.
Awesome.
And I just think that a bunch of these versions of these tunes are, for me, like the definitive versions.
Yes, that's true.
Then and granted, there are some things, there's a couple tracks on here. It's like I would have rather heard something else. But, man... It's like La Villa Strangiato, Jacob's Ladder, Xanadu, Passage to Bangkok is great on here. Red Barchetta is great on here. It's just... So I'm gonna give it the ever slight edge here for me. Maybe like a split decision.
It's so tough, man.
It is tough because you can't go wrong with either or, right? Like I said, there's no right or wrong on any of these. It's like for today... I'm preferring this one a little bit, but if you ask me like a month from now, we're getting together having a beer somewhere, we're like, remember we did that Rush versus BOC show? now that you've had some time to think, what do you really think? I'm like, you know what? I listened to it a couple more times. Maybe I'd pick this one. I don't know. But today I'm going to go with this one. And again, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to cast my vote, whatever. But we'll see what matters. What you guys think. So go in the upper right hand corner, that little white circle with a letter I in the middle. Click that. And vote for Blue Oyster Cult or Rush. Go on our Facebook page. You can vote there as well. In 6 days, we're going to tally up the votes, and the winner will move on to round 2, which is going to begin in about 2 weeks, right? So, Chris, where can everybody find you here?
I write the heavy metal column, More Metal, for More Sugar magazine, which is released in the Hudson Valley. It's on newsstands and given away free at bars and restaurants. If you're not in the Hudson Valley, you can see it online at www.moresugar.com.
It's a great publication. Check it out either online or go grab one in person if you're not living in the area here. So, Chris, thanks so much for coming.
Pete, thanks for having me. Always a pleasure. Hey, everybody out there.
Chris is going to return. Like I said, we've got History of Iron Maiden coming up sometime over the next couple of weeks to a month. And he's going to come back for some round 2 action in our classic live album war tournament. So more on that to come. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, of course, we're here on YouTube. What's coming up the rest of this weekend? Jeff Young, former lead guitarist from Megadeth, coming on board for some more classic live album shows. You like Queen, you like Robin Trower, Rory Gallagher. God, what else? We got a whole bunch that we're going to be doing. So a lot of those albums you've been screaming for that we haven't covered yet, they're coming up this weekend. Jethro Tull, too. So all sorts of fun stuff. So don't miss out. We'll see you again real soon, guys. Chris, take care. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.